Okay, so now we're going to do one, a complex to rectangular to a complex polar that is not on the unit circle. So the process is the same, but you do have to be careful with the calculator. Calculators will only pop out one answer, okay? And as we can see, if we look at the unit circle, if you look here, okay, sine of pi over 6 is 1/2, okay? But sine of 5 pi over 6 is also 1/2. So we can have multiple places where we have the same output. So it becomes very important when you ask yourself, okay, where does my point live? Because you want to make sure that the angle that the calculator gives you the correct location. Okay? So if I look at this point, I have a positive A and a negative B. So let's take a look at our quadrants again. Quadrant 1 is positive, positive. Quadrant 2 is negative, positive. Quadrant 3 is negative, negative. And quadrant 4 is positive, negative. So based on my complex number with the values of A and B that I have, my point should be located in quadrant 4. Okay. So when I find R and when I find theta, I'm doing things 90% the same. Okay. All right, so R we're going to find in the exact same fashion. We're going to do our A squared and B squared. Okay, so 5 squared plus negative 12 squared. And that gives me 25 plus 144, which is 169. Square root of 169 is 13. Okay, so now we're going to use tangent of theta. Okay, tangent of theta, remember, is a over or b over a or y over x. Okay, kind of the same thing. So tangent of theta in this case would be negative 12 divided by 5. Okay, so now is the time where you get out your calculator. Now, what you're going to do with your calculator is you're going to make sure that you are in the mode that the problem wants. I'm going to put my calculator in degrees. Okay, so my answer, when it does come out, should be in degrees. Okay, so we're going to use the tangent inverse feature. So we're going to take the tangent inverse of both sides. Okay, and what'll happen is we're using an inverse function to undo our tangent. So dependent on the calculator you have, you're either going to type this in as written, or you might have to type it in backwards. Okay, so my calculator, I can type it in as written. So the first thing I see on my calculator is tangent negative 1 or tangent inverse. And then I'm going to pop in negative 12 divided by 5. And my calculator's going to hit negative 67.38 degrees. Okay, now this angle is negative. That means it is in the the clockwise direction from the positive x-axis. So if I look at my unit circle, that means when I measured my angle, I went this way, I went down. Okay. Now, that's perfectly okay. I'm in the right quadrant. Okay, I'm in quadrant 4. Okay, so my answer could be 13 quantity cosine negative 67.38 degrees plus pi sine negative 67.38 0.38 degrees. And that's a perfectly fine answer. However, okay, let's say you're taking a quiz and the answer choices don't have negative angles. So what you would do is you would find a coterminal angle by adding 360. If I add 360 to my angle, I get 292.62 degrees, which is an equivalent angle because it ends in the same spot. Okay? With polar graphs, okay, there's more than one way to get to the same destination. There's no one way. So these are two possible answers. Okay? All right, we're going to do one more just to be sure that we got this. Okay? Now, that did go a bit faster than maybe using the unit circle. But as you get to know the unit circle, they kind of tend to go at the same speed. All right, let's do another one. Let's do -9 plus 40i. Okay, so if I ask myself the question, where does the point live? This is a negative and a positive, so it would live in quadrant 2. Okay, all right, so let's find r. Again, we're going to use our a squared plus b squared, taking the square root. So I get 81 plus 1600. So 1681 square root. I forget what that is. Oh, it's 41. Okay, so now I have part. Okay, now we're going to do our theta, remembering that our theta should be in quadrant 2. So remembering tangent of theta is equal to y over x, or b over a. We have tangent theta is equal to 40, that's our b, and -9. Okay, so now it's time to break out that calculator again. So we're going to go tangent, inverse of both sides to solve. Okay, using our calculator in degrees. I get -77.32. Okay, so I have a problem. Okay, this angle that my calculator gave me is not in quadrant 2. Okay, so when you ask yourself, okay, where is it? Okay, so that angle is actually in quadrant 4. Okay, so to get it in quadrant 2, and I'm going to draw a quick graph here. Here we go. So if I'm down here, let's say negative 77 is down here. Okay, how do I find its partner in quadrant 2? Well, let's extend the line. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to take my negative 77.32 and I need to add 180 degrees to it to get it over here. Okay. So if I add 180 degrees, okay, I get 102.68. Okay, and that's the answer I want because it's in the location that I want. Okay, so this is my theta. Okay, so now I have my polar form. So the answer is 41 cosine 102.68 degrees plus I sine 102.68 degrees. And now I'm done. Okay? All right, hopefully that was helpful, and we will do some more. Okay?